Do you wonder how to stop all this catastrophic thinking? We're going to talk all about it. Stay tuned. That's what's up next. Hi, my name is Natasha Daniels. I'm a therapist to make videos for people with anxiety or OCD. And today I want to talk to you all about anxiety and the biggest thing that feeds anxiety, which is catastrophic thinking. Before we get started though, don't forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell so you get notified every time I make a video, which is every Thursday. Okay, so here are the things that I talk about with people in my practice on how to minimize and reduce that catastrophic thinking that we all have when we have anxiety. It's something universal. And the first tip I would say is pay attention to your thoughts. Now that might seem pretty obvious, but it actually isn't. Most of us go through our day and we're not aware of the little whispers that anxiety is telling us all the time. Can you tell the difference between a thought and an anxious thought? Can you tell when anxiety is like, put out my hook and I'm going to reel her in very slowly? What was that noise upstairs? That sounded like a thunk. Hook is out, right? What if it's someone upstairs? What if it's a bad guy? What if they're about to kill you? Reel you in, right? Oh, hook. What is that bump on your throat? Have you noticed that? That wasn't there before. Let me reel you in. Oh my gosh. What if that's something really bad? What if that's a disease? What if you're going to die? Reeling you in, right? Hook. Oh my gosh. Why are they whispering? I thought they were your friends. Are they talking about you? Are they laughing about you? Why are they looking over here? What if you have no friends? What if all your friends leave you, right? Reeling you in. That's what anxiety does. And sometimes it does it so well that you're not even aware of it. Pay attention to your thoughts. Now that might sound super obvious, like, okay, Natasha, obviously I can't ignore them. They're very loud and disturbing. Yes, but we don't start to call it out as anxiety. So I have anxiety, and whenever I have a thought, there's a natural filter that happens with me where I say, is this a productive thought? Is this an anxious thought? Is this my anxiety whispering to me? Is this a snowball thought? Is it going to grow out of control? I automatically do that, but I had to train my brain to do that. So pay attention to your thoughts and recognize and identify those small little whispers before they turn into very large shouts. Point number 2. When you have a catastrophic what-if thought, sometimes it's actually helpful to agree with it and to accept it. Now, this won't work for every catastrophic thought, and we'll talk about those in a minute. But a lot of my what if thoughts, because I have social anxiety, can be things like, what if they don't like you? What if they're laughing about you? What if, they're all plotting and planning against you? What if you never have any friends? What if you go there and you have no one to talk to, no one to sit with? And so for me, anxiety likes us to argue with it. It likes us to fight with it. And so for a lot of these catastrophic thoughts, agreeing with it and accepting the worst case scenario can actually be very helpful. So I say, what if that happens? Well, if they're talking about me, then I don't want to be friends with them anyway. If I go there and I have nowhere to sit or no one to be with, then I'm going to be okay with myself and I'm going to sit in discomfort because that makes my anxiety get smaller. And so I'm going to be okay. What if I get sick? Well, there's doctors. They can treat these things, but today I feel okay. So for some worries and some catastrophic thinking, we can accept the worst case scenario and learn how to tolerate that discomfort, and that really shrinks our anxiety. For some anxiety thoughts, some catastrophic thoughts, they're about real life events that are about to happen. Oh my gosh, what if when I do that presentation, I look like an idiot? Or what happens if, I don't graduate from high school? Or what happens if, I get really, really sick on that day and I can't make it? For real life events that you're catastrophizing before they've actually happened, I back burner those. I say, is this happening this week? Is this happening in the next 3 days? If it's not happening for like 2 years, I'm not going to worry about it. And I will tell my anxiety, yeah, I got it scheduled and I'll worry about it then. I'm not worrying about it right now because so much can change between then and now. And I'm wasting energy and time worrying about it. Now, it's easier said than done, and you really have to train your brain to go back to the present moment, but I won't waste time or energy intentionally on worries that aren't going to be happening in the next week or so. Now, point number 3. Now, some anxiety catastrophic thoughts are, they're just what ifs, right? What if I go to bed and I don't wake up? Or what if, I go out there and there's like a really bad thing that happens? When we have these what if scenarios that are just out of the blue, like what if the sky falls? What if the ceiling falls? And in this year, in this life, in this world right now, a lot of us can have a lot of what if thoughts. Oh my gosh, what if I get really sick? Or what if this happens? What if someone I love dies? We can have a lot of what ifs in this unsettling world that we live in right now. And the best way to handle that is to focus back on what is actually happening. So when we're being bombarded by random what ifs and our anxiety is starting to rev up, I always say to myself, that's what if, but what is? What is? Okay, well, what is? Right now, my health is really good. What is right now? Well, my kids are doing okay. What is happening right now? I'm just sitting here on my couch worrying about what if. What is happening right now? I'm going to make lunch in a minute, right? So when your brain is switching to what if, you want to prompt it to go, what is? And then start to ground yourself by going through and saying, what is happening in my world? What is happening in my day? What is happening in my moment right now? And that's a really good grounding technique that can help anchor you and bring you back to the present instead of the future or the past, right? What if they thought I was an idiot? What if they think I'm going to be an idiot? Ground yourself in the present. And my final tip is to ask yourself, what is anxiety wanting me to do with this information? That's really important because anxiety is also going to give you some suggestions, some tips, some helpful little pointers in how to address this catastrophic thinking. So I want to listen to that. Is my anxiety saying maybe you shouldn't go to that event because they might be laughing at you, or you may not have any people who want to talk to you. I'm using social anxiety as a lot of my examples because that's my theme, that's my issue. But you can replace that with anything that you have. Or maybe your anxiety might say, ooh, don't eat that food. What if it's expired? Or what if, it smells kind of funky, you shouldn't eat it? Or what if my anxiety is saying, don't go upstairs. There was this weird sound and I don't know what it is. So maybe you shouldn't go up there because it might be an axe murderer and you might not ever survive. So just don't go. Or maybe you shouldn't go to sleep because you might have a nightmare. So listen for what anxiety is instructing you to do. More often than not, it's going to be avoidance because that's anxiety's favorite food. That's how it grows bigger. So normally anxiety is saying, don't do this or don't do that or avoid that, or maybe check this or check that, although sometimes that can turn into OCD. And so when you're hearing anxiety instruct you, you want to do the opposite. So when anxiety says, don't go up there, pretty sure there's a mass murderer up there, then you want to go up there because what's the likelihood, right? Pretty small. We all have gone up to our rooms and we all do okay. So we want to face our fears and we want to push through it in a perfect world because that really shuts anxiety down. If I'm looking at something and it's not expired, but my anxiety says, but what if that really weird little dot over there is something really bad? I want to eat that food because anxiety is telling me not to. And the more I listen to anxiety, the more I'm feeding anxiety and not myself. So I'm going to eat that food and I'm going to starve anxiety. That's how I'm going to approach it. So just to recap, you want to pay attention to your anxious thoughts. You don't want catastrophic snowball thinking to be happening and raining down on you without your awareness. You want to pay attention and see if you can actually accept the worst case scenario in some of those thoughts and be okay with it and taunt anxiety back. What if they don't like me? You want to be able to back burner thoughts and fears that are not going to be happening for a long time to come. I only schedule worries for the next 7 days. If it's farther than 7 days, that's too far out. I'm not going to worry about it. And then you want to refocus your attention on what is, not what will be or what if, right? So ground yourself with the what is question, go through your environment, what is, and that will really help you kind of drown out the what ifs. And lastly, don't forget, don't feed anxiety. It's a beast and it likes to be fed. And so if it's telling me to avoid something, that's the first thing I'm gonna do. So I hope that you found these tips helpful. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back again next Thursday with a new video. Until then, don't forget to find the sparkle in everything you do. Take care.